It just looks like you're a mess.
Good evening, everybody. I want to thank you all for joining us tonight. Truly appreciate it. Go down through here and say hello to everybody. Hello, Jericho and Hercules, Jeff, Ann, Badger Exploration, Elijah. How are you doing? And Anastasia. Hello, Willie. Hello, Robert and Melissa. Hello, Barry. Hello, Shannon. Hello, Chris. If I skip anybody, I do apologize. Hello, Nick. We took off last week because I had vacation and my dad and I went up north hunting for like 5 days, but that was a bust. They're just the place we'd go up there and see deer and turkey and stuff just nonstop. They've just destroyed that place. They went in there and taken down trees and just dozed out a lot of stuff. It's what the conservation department does a lot of times is just kind of sickening to me. Hello, Olin. They think that they know best, but I don't think they do. That college degree don't make you know the right thing for the animals a lot of times. They're like, we're going to make all these crop field, or not crop fields, but weed fields for the quail. Well, as much as I was hunted up there, 90% of the time the quail are in the timber to get out of all them weeds because the predators hide in there and ambush them. But real quick, I wanted to show off. If you guys have not subscribed to Jericho and Hercules, please go subscribe. At 1,000 subscribers, they're going to have a giveaway. Hello, Mr. Diggs. We received in the mail these 2 Hercules pins, which are really cool. And he sent us a bag of pay dirt. It's a 1/4 gram of gold in there for the beginners from Jericho and Hercules. Thank you so much. I appreciate that. And also, I told Risha this is mine. It's a silver round.
Do I do this? Yeah.
The prospector on it.
And then kind of put it on there and blow it.
Which is really cool. Hi, Connie. Hi, Nancy. So without further ado, we're going to bring our special guest up for tonight.
Okay, so there's this going.
For you that don't know, this is Brian from Tri-Vally
Hello.
Metal Detecting and Outdoors. We went up there Saturday. He had an event, a free event for anybody that wanted to come, a metal detecting event. And Risha and I had never been to anything like that before, and we had a blast. Sorry, Brian, I'm just trying to get my phone on here, so if I get somebody in that's not a moderator, I can make them a moderator. You having trouble hearing again?
Nah, just not used to the headphones.
Thanks, Clay and Jen. We appreciate that. Hi, Kathy. Hi, Martin. So this was a natural hunt. Brian did seed it a little bit, but it was a natural hunt. There was one kid. Hi, Tina. Hi, 603. There was one kid that found, for me, and I think Brian too, definitely a bucket lister.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
In fact, I didn't even get to see it. I wanted to look at it, but by the time I realized who had it, it was too late. Because I actually thought your brother got it at first. And I didn't know, who actually had it until after the event and he was gone. But he found a seeded dime. I don't remember the year.
It was a 1876.
Wow. Hi, Bear. So, yeah, that was an amazing find. And I found several natural coins while we were there. Nothing really old, but I know there was, was it a barber? Or not a barber, was it a mercury dime natural find that was found?
Yeah, there was a mercury, and was it 1937 mercury natural? And then that seated dime. I think that was the only silver that was naturally found so far. I'm gonna be
Yeah,
hunting that for a while.
I don't blame you. That's still really cool. There was a lady found something that was kind of surprising to all of us, but I'm not going to say what that is because the both of us will have that out on a video if you want to see what she found. It was definitely unexpected out in the field, though.
Oh yeah, most definitely. I was kind of like in shock at first, and then until afterwards when I realized what it was.
Yeah. Yeah, whenever you called me over and I seen it, I thought, whoa. Then I looked at it and I'm like, oh, okay. You
Mhm.
know, but I don't want to give too much away on that if people want to see what she found. Was she was not filming. It was just Brian and I were filming our own videos, and it was a pretty cool find, though.
Oh yeah, as soon as she called me over, and as soon as I saw it, and I barely saw it, and I just turned around and I was like, James, come here, get your camera rolling.
Yeah. Well, you know, that field is going to be, I think, an incredible place, especially like we were talking before we went live. I don't know how many people were there, but still yet that field couldn't have been hardly covered by the amount of people that was on it. You just can't do it.
Oh no. Yeah, I went back the next day and I found a few more of the seeded items, and I did find some really good natural finds while I was down there. Just that one afternoon, Sunday afterwards, um, which I have already posted and shared on YouTube if you guys would like to see.
Sure, I'm sure they would love to see.
So, oh, there we go.
Yeah, that thing is awesome. That's just an incredible piece.
So I'm thinking 14 karat. Most of these pendants were 14 karat. It is the broken at the top, so I'm sure it's somewhere out there.
Yeah.
There we go. So the only thing I can find on it was the Knights Templar with the cross through the crown. Other than that, I really don't know a whole lot about those, so I'm still doing research.
He
That's
found
cool.
after everybody was there.
Oh, wow. And it's gold?
Mm-hmm.
That's awesome.
But hi, Judy.
Hi, everybody.
Jody. Jody.
Jody.
I'm blistering. Sorry, guys. I'm just going to be one of those nights I can't talk.
Yeah.
But I've mentioned it before. Risha and I go out here in the yard with the detector, and we can go right back over what we've been over. And that one day, she went right back where we've been, found 3 wheat pennies.
Yeah.
You know, and you're like, how did I miss that before? And it's just, I guess, a little bit of an angle change or a little bit more.
The moisture in the ground. I mean, anything.
Yeah.
Yeah, I appreciate that, Connie. So you've tried several detectors. One thing that I try not do is put one detector over another. I don't believe in that. I think if you have a detector, if it's 50 years old and you have fun and you find stuff, go out there and have fun.
Oh yeah, most definitely.
I'll find stuff.
There is, before I got my Equinox, there was another detector I was thinking about getting before that, and I won't say what it was, but this one person, and I won't mention who it was, all I heard was this machine they had was the best machine. And it's to that point, you know, I'm like, I don't want one just because of how this person is insisting it's the best. And it's, you know, each one of them have their own place out there. And there's a lot of them are great detectors. I mean, that event, I don't know how many different kinds of detectors is out there, and everybody's finding stuff. Everybody's having a good time.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
It's hot in here.
That was fun. I can open that.
You want me to leave?
I don't think it's you.
Mm-hmm.
But you've tried several different detectors, so you've had luck with probably every
Oh yeah.
detector you've used.
I think my first one was a Fisher. Oh man, I can't remember the name of it, but it was like one of the early '90s models, and I have one of the Garrett Discover. No, I can't
Hey,
remember,
Elijah.
but it's early '90s models is what I was learnt on.
Yeah.
Yeah, we went to an auction one day and we bought 2 detectors before we started really getting serious about it, and they were both Fishers, and I can't even remember what models they were.
I don't
One of
know.
them was an underwater one and one wasn't.
We didn't have pinpointers.
And we would go out and find a little bit of stuff, but it was, yeah, nails a lot of times, but it was like we would turn them on and go out, find a few coins. Next time we'd go out, they wouldn't work too good. So it's just, it wasn't,
And we didn't know how to do the settings. or
yeah,
anything.
we had no idea on the settings, anything like that. So it was just because they were old machines,
Hey,
Mhm.
Jeff.
and we just gave up on it for a while.
So
And
I have multiple machines. They all have a purpose.
Mhm.
So I like to artifact hunt. So I'll take a certain machine with me. I'll take 2 machines with me, but I'll have my main machine and just in case batteries die or whatever it is, I'll have my
Yeah.
backup. But I have designated machines for like if I go to a park, I have this machine. If I go artifact hunting like a field, I have this machine. And then if I go to the woods, I have this machine. Yes, I can change, coils or change the settings, etc., or whatever, but I have what I prefer a certain machine to go out at a certain spot. That's
right.
that's what I like doing.
Nancy Taylor's got a question. If it's a
Yeah.
public beach, do you need permission? I think that depends upon the state.
I don't know.
Because here in Missouri, even though the beach is considered a public beach, it's owned by the Corps of Engineers.
Yep.
So I think there's only certain ones that you can actually detect.
It's true.
But there is, here anyway, there's little workarounds on that also, I have discovered. Hello, Papa. So from what I understand and what I've read, here in Missouri, you can't go on every beach, but if you're on a beach that you're not allowed to actually metal detect, if you have lost a ring or a piece of jewelry, then you can go search for that piece of jewelry.
Yeah.
But I don't know how the laws are where you're at as far as the beaches, things like that.
Almost the same as Missouri. But I think like in state parks, we can metal detect, but we can't dig anything.
Yeah.
Now here in the state parks, you have to, I think, get a permit or permission.
A permit.
But there's,
Permit. You have to have a
I've
permit.
looked it up, and I think there's like 6 state parks in Missouri you can metal detect.
Mm-hmm.
I know we wanted to go do some parks in Springfield, and it says you have to get a permit. So she called and asked about a permit, and they're like, "Oh, you don't need one, but you can't dig."
Yeah.
And I stopped at a police department the other day and talked to the officer about metal detecting the parks in that town. And I said, my understanding, Missouri, you can metal detect any public park. Oh no, that's
Unless it's posted.
yeah. He said, no, that's state park. I said, well, that wasn't my understanding, but I said, that's fine. He said, well, you can detect in that park, but you can't dig. So that's kind of where they get you as far as detecting. You might have a really good signal down 2 inches, and if you get caught digging, you get a ticket or run out. He said, yeah, we don't allow no digging. He said, if you went down like half an inch, we wouldn't say nothing. Anything over that, he said, I'm gonna have to run you out of there. So like, well, it ain't worth the hassle to be looking over your shoulder if you're gonna get in trouble or not.
Hey, you guys ever get permissions for like farmers' fields?
We haven't yet. There is one place I want to go find out who owns it. There was 2 separate Civil War battles close to there, I don't know that there's going to be anything in that farmer's field because I can't find out exactly where the battle is, but I think I know where it was at. So I wanted to find out who owns that field across the road from there, because if the actual battle is where I'm thinking, there could be anything out in that farmer's field.
Yeah, I've been hitting a few fields probably west of you in Missouri last year, and I'm ready to go back out there and find some more goodies, but it might be pretty close to what you were talking about.
Yeah, this is a little dinky town, little tiny town.
This one would probably it's north of Joplin, probably directly west from you. There was a cavalry camp that we went to, and then my buddy, he was trying to get permission on the neighbor's side where the actual fighting was at. I would love to go back out there and hit it sometime.
Yeah, I got an idea of the town you're talking about. In fact, we were magnet fishing a creek, and this guy come up and give me a card, and he's, I guess, had some group in that town that they go out detecting, and I've got his card somewhere. I never did get a hold of him, but across from that creek is there's a field, and he said, yeah, I can get you in that field. Hello, Colt. But I just haven't followed up on it. I don't have enough time in the day, it don't seem like.
Area.
Nancy's wanting to know if anybody in here is around the Fenton, Michigan area.
I did not know that. Yeah, and I have just been winging it.
Now I know what is it? Carthage has a club. If I'm saying it right, Carthage, Missouri.
Yeah, that's where I'm talking about. Yeah, that's where I'm talking about. That was a guy that approached us because he seen her detecting while I was magnet fishing. And
they do have club hunts out there. I was gonna go to one last year, but you have to be a actual club member and be at one of their meetings like every 6 months. And I was just like, I can't do that. So.
Yeah, that's the area I was thinking of. I know there was some battles in Carthage.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, what I was looking at is directly west of that.
Okay. I haven't looked into that much. Hello, 717. Hello, Back Road. Hello, Just Be Cool. My dad brought me a book that's got a lot of the stuff just on this county. But I do know by searching the internet, not too far from where we live, if I can find out the property owner, there was, I think it was 1,600 or I can't remember if 1,600 or 16,000 people camped by this creek. Ooh. In this little bottom. And according to the internet, I know exactly where it's at. But just figuring out who owns it is the trick.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, especially like a cavalry camp. But those camps, you don't know what was dropped. I was out in the field, and it was a Union cavalry camp on the Missouri side, and I dig up iron. I'll dig up if it's a solid iron tone. I'll dig it up all day. Anyways, I picked up this thing that had a pointy end, but kind of had a loop at the back. I didn't know what it was at first. And then I showed my buddy, and he goes, dude, that's a fully intact picket spike where they tie the horse to.
Yeah, that's cool.
It was really cool.
Yeah, Shannon said from Joplin south towards Rogers is definitely Civil War grounds.
Oh, yeah, most definitely. Hey, 717.
Get into more research on things like that. I like finding the artifacts. We both do. And I get excited finding the penny, well, not so much anymore, but nickels, dimes, quarters. I get tickled with that all the time, but I'm starting to enjoy more the relics.
Oh, yeah.
and I found a couple more relics that I haven't put the video out yet that I thought were really neat finds, and they're Civil War related. But she found that one ringer Civil War bullet. I found the Civil War 58 caliber musket ball, which to me those were better than a silver dime.
Oh yeah.
And
Civil War relics. Oh yeah.
and then in the same areas where I found two more relics, and we think there's probably more there because we've just, like I said, you can go over a field 100 times and still not cover it all.
That's true.
But the only way to cover it all is to put out stakes and make grids and go back and forth each way up each one and across each one to cover it from every angle you possibly can. I've heard a lot of people saying, especially Shane, Ohio River History, says you'll never completely dig a place out. There's always going to be stuff you miss. I'd like to go to that dig stock sometime, but I think she looked the one up they're having next year, and I forget how many hours it was travel time, close to 30 hours travel time.
That was North Carolina.
Yeah. I told her we'd just have to fly if we went out there because that's a lot of driving. Yeah, I think it was a day and 6 hours.
Now there's another big one south of you guys in Arkansas, Treasure Fest. You heard of that one?
No, we really don't know much about that. Hi, Barry, Teresa. When you posted yours, I said, I want to go to that. And Risha's like, I don't know. So she said, yeah, let's go. So when we got there, she's like, I had a blast. We got to do this again. So it's for our first taste of any kind of an event.
Mm-hmm.
Connie says she don't think that's too bad. Well, 30 hours driving is a lot of driving for me. Yeah, but even being a trucker, I'm wasting 2 days vacation drive time. So it's not worth it to me. 2 hours drive or 2 days there, 2 days back. So I've wasted 4 days of vacation just to get there.
I agree.
Connie said she thinks Show Me went to Arkansas, the Arkansas one. No, but since you're in the loop on that, you can send me some info anytime you want on some of that stuff. Now, the one that's coming up this weekend that the guy was giving flyers out for. Hi, Sand Van. We didn't get a flyer, but Risha did look it up, and it's like a 5 hour and something drive for us.
Yeah,
which we would love to go, but
yeah.
This is opening weekend of firearms deer season in Missouri, and that's like a national holiday here.
Yeah, it's about a 3 hour drive north of me. I mean, it's a free hunt also. Unfortunately, I'm going to go see my parents down in Oklahoma this weekend for that. But I'm sure it's going to be really great. I mean, natural, and I think he said 800 seeded targets. And I think he's also having a free barbecue after that.
Yeah, that's what it said. Hi, Mary. Yeah, I'd love to go, but I'd have to leave the day before, rent a hotel. Because that'd be 10 hours driving in one day if you tried to get down there, detect, and drive back. And if it wasn't opening day of deer season, I would probably go, but I just enjoy sitting in that tree watching the critters walk around and enjoying the wildlife,
I hear you.
Willie wants to know if he has a channel.
I don't think so. I think he's just strictly Facebook.
Yeah, Connie, I think it is North Carolina's the only state that doesn't allow magnet fishing.
Bobby, look, there's an angel.
Because there are states that do not allow magnet fishing.
She's eating. What do you need? You got it. What does he need?
And we've not been doing the videos that long for metal detecting, which I don't get as many views on the metal detecting as I do magnet fishing, because I started my channel out is mostly magnet fishing.
Yeah.
But I'm kind of in that boat that I see a lot of magnet fishers get in. They start their channel, they work so hard to get up to 1,000 subs. Well, by the time they reach that, all their areas are magnet fished out. And then they're just out of stuff to do. Yeah, I am too, Elijah. He said he's excited. I got a pretty nice 9-point we've been seeing around here, and I got another one. I'm guessing he's an 8-point, but it's a super tall rack deer. Risha and I saw him again the other day, and he's a big old deer body-wise. He's huge, but we've got 2 bridges that's always paid off. I mean, we can go there and work hard and make a video. But when I first started, those spots, hi Gramps, those spots we would go to, it was nothing to be there for an hour and have a great video because you're just finding so much stuff.
Mm-hmm.
If you guys haven't checked out Gramps is Grumpy, please go check out his channel. And I don't know if you've know about this or not, Brian, but May 27th to 28th, we're going to have a collab in Wisconsin to benefit St. Jude's. It's going to be Iron Antler Butchers and the Rusty Magnets. Going to be magnet fishing, and as far as we know, metal detecting. From my research, it is legal to metal detect the parks in the town that we chose. We're not disclosing the town at this point because there are people that would run up there and try to magnet fish it out before we get there. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah, kind of same thing with me. I have a March event I'm working on, and it's kind of hush hush. But I want to start advertising soon about it, and all I can say, it was a pipeline camp, a Chinese pipeline camp, 20 acres, housed over 1,000 men. Turn of the century. So I'm working on that, but I can't really say where it's at just because of that.
Yeah, I don't blame you. No, I completely understand that. Yeah, Elijah says, yeah, come on out. Would be super awesome. I'm bringing a bunch of gear, and yes, Iron Antler metal detecting is allowed, and metal detecting is very lax here in Wisconsin. Okay, I tried to research that town. Hi, Patterson, and from what I could find out, it was okay to do it in that town. I'm trying to remember. I can't remember exactly what year that town was founded, but it's in the early 1800s, I do believe. So the only thing that we're going to suggest for folks is if they decide to go detecting in this town is to make sure there's a group of people. It's not a town you want to wander off by yourself.
Ooh.
Yeah, Chris saying the Helios 1400 won't break the bank. That is a great little magnet too, Chris. I had a feeling it would be a good magnet, and when I did that video with it, Risha was shocked. She said, I can't believe that tiny little magnet can pull up that heavy of stuff. Yeah, Elijah said well over 100 years of history. Yeah, it's an older town. Yeah, he said I have to know how to do proper plugs, of course, and that's something I want to get back to on what Willie said. He's saying think of the groundskeeper that has all those holes. Well, a proper detectorist will fill those holes, put the plugs back in the holes. I'm going to say 90% of the time where I've dug a plug, you walk by 5 minutes later, you ain't going to have a clue where I dug a hole at. It doesn't matter if I'm out in our hayfield detecting or if I'm in a park. I try to make sure I fill that plug in and make it look like I've never been there.
You would hate to see my backyard. I found there's a big iron patch I've been skipping over for years, and I just had to dig it out. Just start digging.
Yeah.
And 2 5-gallon buckets full of broken glass,
Wow.
32 or 33 fully intact bottles, over 20 tax tokens, Buffalo nickels, V nickels, Mercury dimes. Most recently, I found a lead track medal, a cash coin, and a 1915 dog tag.
Wow, that's awesome. Good night, Shannon. Chris said I'm better than a squirrel bearing a walnut. That's funny, Chris. Hello, Tom.
You seriously just get food all over your cactus. You don't care?
I dug mine. I don't know if you're talking about me or Brian, Willie, but yeah, I dug my yard pretty hard, and I mow my yard, so I know I don't want to leave holes in it. The only bad thing about it, when it's dry, you can see the dead circles.
Yeah.
As soon as you get rain, when it warms up, or if you dig them in the winter and the spring, you're never going to know that anybody was there.
Oh yeah. I end up tilling my backyard anyways because I like having a garden out there. Unfortunately, I've been digging up a lot of bricks and rocks, so before I start tilling, I need to pick all that those bricks up. Other than that, I mean, it's good to go. It just looks really messy back there.
Yeah. I missed a question from Patterson. No, we have not disclosed the name of the town yet. We're not probably going to disclose that till maybe, I don't have to give Clay and Jen, but probably not even going to disclose it till a month before the event. I do know myself and Risha, we're going to be staying in Fond du Lac, Wisconsin, but we'll be up there 9 days. Should have seen the craters dug at Dig Stock and left with trash.
Oh,
Yeah, that
yeah.
irritates me to death.
Yeah, 603. I hate when that happens. I've been to quite a few events when that does happen. They'll just, especially when there's a night hunt afterwards, at the same hunt field, that I've gone in, people's left broken glass bottles in craters almost. I hate when that happens.
Yeah, hey, Happy Chappy, that's disrespectful. There are times I might leave half of a can, but I might have a giant hole and I grab the can and it tears, and I don't want to dig another giant hole to get the other half.
Mm-hmm.
But if I dig it out, I filled the back of the truck up a couple times while we were up there Sunday.
Yeah, I was really thankful that folks they were keeping the trash a lot easier for me to clean up for getting ready for next year.
Patterson said he thinks he knows what town with all the clues I've given. You're up here 9 days. I got a logging camp brothel. We can. Oh, that sounds good, Elijah. I'd love to do that. Where Elijah is up in Wisconsin, he's around a bunch of old logging camps. That would be really sweet to do. Yeah, Clay and Jen is supposed to go check this site out. We're pretty confident it's going to be, hey, Joker, a good spot. But they have never actually been to this town. So we want them also to double check it before we go ahead and say yes. That way, if there's actually nothing there, we can pick another place. Yeah, we do too, Barry Teresa. We pick it up. I am going to have a Karen video coming out before long.
Ooh, those are fun.
Yes. I won't give a lot of information, but she did call the police and all kinds of fun stuff. Of course, I doubt if they ever showed up. The mayor did come. We talked to the mayor for a long time, and it was a good place we were at too.
Was that in Missouri?
Yeah. Yeah, when we got there, my dad and I, there's like trash just strung across everywhere. The trash cans are laying on the ground. So when I got over by one of the trash cans, I picked it up. I picked up, I don't know how much trash out there. And there was more we were going to pick up before we left, but she come up and started hollering at me, and it was all I could do to keep my calm because she was accusing me of destroying things for her children, our children, and she was probably 75, 80 years old. I don't know how old her children are, but I doubt they're running around in that park. And like I said earlier, we're doing this thing to raise money for St. Jude. So when somebody says I'm doing something to hurt the kids, it ticked me off quite a bit. But I did keep my calm. When the mayor showed up as we were leaving, we talked to him for a while, and he said, "Oh, I don't have a problem with it." I said, "Well, if she's that concerned, why isn't she out there picking up some of this trash that we're picking up?" And he said, "Yeah, I got to try to keep the peace." I said, "That's fine." He said, "Just let me know next time you're back." I said, "I won't be back. It ain't worth the headaches." My sister said, "I have no filter when it comes to Karens." Yeah, my dad was a little farther away than I was, so he wasn't hearing what she was saying. She never swore at me, but she kept accusing me of destroying. I said, "We're out here picking up trash." "No, you're destroying it, digging big, leaving giant holes, blah, blah, blah." And I like, "No, this is a public park, and I'm out here cleaning and detecting." So when the mayor showed up, and there was, like I said, there was like a backpack and a bunch of trash there. And I said, "If she's that concerned about this park, why isn't she out here picking this trash up?" I said, "We were going to pick this trash up," but I said, "Not now." He said, "Well, I'll have to pick it up before I leave." I said, "Well, you'll have to, because we would have done that." And I got a video where I filmed Risha while I'm detecting. She's out there picking trash up out of this park and throwing it away because Connie's saying her dad is my dad. Connie's my sister. There's places we go, like the one bridge we magnet fish. There's trash cans on each end of the bridge. And you get there and there's trash laying beside the can, and the can is empty. And you're like, one more foot and you got it in the trash can.
Yeah.
And a lot of the parks, I don't know if you have this issue or not, but it seems like a lot of the parks we detect, we pull up all kinds of little pieces of pop cans where the parks department, instead of taking time to pick this up, they just mow over.
Yeah, same thing over here. And also those e-cig things, I find a bunch of those.
Oh yeah, I guess I missed a comment. I'm trying to get back. Oh, he said the best part is he has pretty much exclusive access and knowledge of several locations near there due to how our hunting land blocks access to a lot of areas. Yeah, that sounds great, Elijah. Risha will want in on that too, and Clay probably will, and Jen. But I used to not have a filter, but like my sister said, she doesn't have one. But I was a production coordinator for like 20 years, dealing with several people, that I was in charge of. You have to learn how to have a filter when you have that many people. You can't just get mad and say what you want. You have to calm it down. And I knew me getting mad and mouthing something wouldn't help the situation anyway.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, Risha said she's glad she wasn't there, but she said, "I'm going to call the police." I said, "Fine, call them. I'm not doing nothing wrong." But yeah, I guess it kind of shocked me because I think I've asked one person about detecting, and they said no because their husband detected. It was an old house. And they said, no, because my husband detects the yard. So if it wasn't for that, you'd be more than welcome. I've got permission at churches and courthouses and private property. Like I was telling you, I got that one area that's, I don't know, I'd say there's 25, 30 acres total land there to detect. So most people are pretty upbeat about it. Reese and I were at a place Sunday, and you can pretty well tell the Karens in the crowd because we pulled in and we were eating our lunch before we got out detecting. And as soon as we got our detectors out, you can see her over there staring at us and had her phone. I said, we'll just wait till she goes on. So she went on. She didn't say nothing to us, but we weren't detecting at that point because there's some really ritzy houses right next to this place.
Mm-hmm.
So we were detecting for like 15 minutes, and here come these two dogs running through, and here comes a couple, a man and a woman, from out of that housing thing. And I thought, oh boy, here we go. And they're like, hey, you having any luck? That looks like a lot of fun. I'm like, you're totally different than the lady we just seen. You know, they were all upbeat and happy. And so you run into those people every once in a while, and it's best to just move on, not let it get to you. My dad's like, well, we can stay here and wait for the sheriff. I said, Dad, he may not show up for 4 or 5 hours if he shows up, you know, because this town is too small for a city officer. So they'd had to call the sheriff's department. And I'm sure when she called, they're like, we got way more important things to deal with than somebody metal detecting in a park.
Mm-hmm.
So, you know, she's got to live with herself. I got to live with myself. So I didn't say anything out of place or anything like that. So I'm sure the mayor was not happy about it.
Now, you said you got permission for a courthouse?
Yes.
So that's pretty rare to get permission for an active courthouse. I know ours, we can metal detect it. We just can't dig anything. I want to dig everything, but you know what I
Well,
mean? But
yeah,
oh yeah, a
Reese
lot of history.
tells me I'm a nut. Yeah, I don't care who I ask. It don't bother me. We were in this town one day, and I don't remember what we were doing. I said, "What if we can detect here?" And she's like, "Well, that'd be cool." I said, "We'll find out." I said, "I'm gonna go ask her." Well, I'm staying out here, and I come out, and she said, "What are you doing?" I said, "Well, I don't know what you're doing, but I'm gonna detect this, detect out here." They gave you permission? I said, "Yeah." They said, "Just fill in your holes." I said, "No problem." Patterson said he's got a buddy that lives on a 200-year-old farm, and he's thinking about asking if we can detect when we all come up.
Oh yeah, a 200-year-old farm. Yeah. Yes,
Yeah,
please.
we will try. Patterson, we'll be there 9 days. I think we were there 7 days last time. One of those days were driving days, so we're going to actually get there on a Saturday. I'm wanting to leave it here at midnight, which would get us up there. If Reese is asleep, it'll get us up there about 10 o'clock in the morning, 9. If she's awake, it'll be noon because we have to make pit stops. I like just driving and getting wherever I'm going. So we'll have time that Saturday to do things, and then we'll have the whole week. And the following weekend, we'll be at the event for 2 days. And then the last day, we'll be driving home. Hi, Steve. But we want to do as much as we can while we're there. But Risha, it's funny because when I started magnet fishing, she didn't want no part of it. And once I got her 360 magnet, she loves it. And then when I started metal detecting, she's like, now she's like, I get home from work. Can we go dig? Can we go dig? Can we go dig? I've created a monster, I think. Yeah, I can't wait either, Chris. You know, I miss you guys. Awesome people up there, every one of them. So if you get a chance to come up, even just for that weekend, Brian.
The end of May.
Yeah. We figured
So,
we'd do Memorial Weekend, and then that way everybody has that Monday off, and then you could drive back home. You don't have to burn vacation or none of that, or most people's off for that holiday anyway.
yeah, I got to go through all the scheduling for events. I know Caney, not too far from you guys, they host a metal detecting event at the first weekend of June. And then Memorial Day weekend there's a, let's see, Indian Territory hunt. That's a 2-day hunt. So yeah, once I get all my scheduling for events down, I'll post it on our Facebook page, what events that we plan on going to or possibly going to. I'll let you know.
All right, and the event that you're planning, I don't want you to give away where it's at, anything like that, but do you have any details as to how the event is going to go? I mean, is there an entry fee? If so, how much? How does this work? Reach and I have never been to an event till we came to yours, and I've seen a couple. Maybe you sent me that it's so much for this hunt, so much for this hunt, so much for this hunt, and we don't still until we go to one, we're really not going to understand how it all works. But
So you got different styles of hunt. You got you got your big sponsored hunt, with Nocta Macro, Mind Lab, etc. Those large sponsored hunts are usually 100 plus, 200, $300 a hunt. And then you got your club hunts, which are individual hunts. So you pay for that individual, like let's say it's a silver quarter hunt only, or $50 hunt, or a gold hunt. You'll pay for those individual hunts. And then you got those small sponsored hunts. They're usually like 30, 40, maybe even $50, and you'll get in for 2 or 3 hunts. And then you got all natural hunts, which me personally, when I do an all natural hunt, it's totally free. I know this last one I did, I got a donation, and then I went through some RX just to kind of spice it up, but I knew there was gonna be a lot of trash out there. I had that permission for a while, and I was like, I'm not gonna hit it. I want everyone to find, have a raw experience finding whatever. So that's why I made it free, even though I seeded items out of my pocket. I still made it free because I knew there was gonna be a lot of trash out there. Now, a lot of club hunts, they have a designated area, which is usually really cleaned out, unless it's used for multiple things like carnivals, etc., rodeos or whatever. You're always going to have some form of trash. But yeah, large sponsored hunts are usually the most expensive ones, and then you got your club hunts, your smaller sponsored hunts, and then your natural hunts.
hello, Salty. But the one you're talking about having in, what'd you say?
In March.
In March.
So it's going to be a natural hunt, completely natural hunt. I will not be seeding any items for that one. So that's going to be free. We are going to have a limit on folks coming. I think the club that's actually wanting me to set it up is the Caney Metal Detecting Club in Kansas. They asked me to go ahead and set up everything for them. It is going to be free. It will be free, but I think we're going to have a limit of 40, maybe 50 people.
You made a tea.
Hello, Salty. Risha and I would be interested if there is that possibility of us coming. Of course, I don't know how far from your house. It was about 2.5 hours from here to your house.
So this location will probably be about an hour south, directly south of me.
Okay, so we're still under about 3.5 hours, something like that.
Yeah, maybe 3.5 for you.
But if there is that possibility, we would like to come as well. I would anyway. She can stay here. And
What?
natural hunting have it next year.
No.
Did you hear the no?
Yeah, I'll have a schedule of all the events for next year coming out probably next month, and I'll start advertising this event here shortly. I just want to get all the um, everything in order first before I start posting.
Yeah. But if there's room in there, count us in if that's a possibility. I mean, if not, we understand. Chris,
So,
usually fill
yeah,
those.
Mabby Adventures. She asked a question. Tri-Valley, do you usually fill them digs up at 40 or 50 people? Not usually. We'll set a limit, and then if they come, they come. I know I set a limit for. I was expecting about 30 people for this last event, and I think we had 21 signed up, plus a few kids at the scavenger hunt.
Yeah, it was fun. I mean, she's like, I'd do that again. And she said, I'm too tired to dig. And then on the way home, is there a place we can stop and dig? I said, it's going to be dark. But we did go eat pizza, got to visit with you a little bit more, and we got to meet Willie. Those of you that haven't met Willie, Willie's a great kid. I'm old, so I can call him a kid. And we enjoyed spending time visiting with him while we were eating. Teresa was sending me pictures of that buck she was talking about, and that's two nice bucks, actually. I'd be tickled to death with either one of them.
Hold on, I just want to show you. Okay? Are you
Chris got a little misspelling there. It said ducks in a row.
Don't get embarrassed, okay? You sure? You're gonna be able to handle it?
Have to get headlamps. You can actually detect in the dark, Chris. The only thing is, I mean, the pinpointer's got a light on it, but I'd have to have another light to shine and find the targets because we dig around here sometimes till it gets pretty dark.
Mm-hmm.
And the good and bad thing about the pinpointer having the light on it is you can see, but then when you're trying to see what it is, it keeps beeping while you're trying to see what it is.
I like those little headlights just clipped to your beak.
Yeah. Yeah, we need to get some of those. She'd dig 24 hours a day, I think, if she had the opportunity. But it's a good thing, that's two things that we enjoy doing together is magnet fishing and metal detecting. And she also likes just regular fishing, but not hunting. She said, I might be able to shoot a turkey, but she said, I couldn't shoot one of those deer with them big brown eyes.
Oh.
I missed part of Willie's conversation. Oh, an interesting place. Would hit it again. Need to learn the AT Pro more. Yeah, that's my only thing about going to a different detector. A penny for me, for the most part, is anywhere from a 19 to 22, 23, unless it's a weedy or an Indian head. It'll go up 25, 26 most of the time, somewhere in that range. If I went to the AT Pro, I believe those numbers are probably up in the 40s or something like that. So the numbers, even though the tone's there, I'd look at the number and be like, what the heck's that? Because I started out numbers only. That's what I went by, was numbers only. And Ben from Kratos Magnetics, he's like, no, you got to go by the tone and not pay attention to the numbers, which I try to go by the tone now, but I still want to look at those numbers to see what it is.
Yeah.
Because I've got 3 different basic tones on mine set up. I got for the lower tones, I got the nickel range, then between the nickel and the penny range. and then from the penny range up, it's basically the same tone. So if it's in that upper tone, even though it's a good signal, I look to see, hey, am I guessing that's a penny or a dime or a quarter, just by the numbers. And it's helped me to go by the tone. But I told Willie one day, probably the best thing I did, I don't remember if somebody told me or if I watched the video, was I took like a clothes hamper or basket, laundry basket, turned it upside down in a place where there's no sound, put a penny on there, run your machine over, listen to it, see what it's doing, glance at the number, see what it is, put a nickel, put a dime, put a quarter, and so on and so forth, and put a gold ring or a piece of silver, listen to your machine, look at the number, then you know what the sound is, what the number range is, and you have an idea what you're digging.
Oh, yeah.
But I still have pop cans give me fits all the time because a lot of those like to ring up in that silver range.
And then you got to be careful with the gold also. And if it's plated, it's going to ring up higher. If it's white gold, if it's an earring, if it's heavier gold, it can range so dramatically at times. This 14 karat, I think I was swinging the Legend, and it rang up a solid 27, which I'm not familiar with the Legend completely. So I text a buddy and I was like, hey, man, what's 27 Legend? Is it gold? I was like, holy cow. So doing my research, and most of them were 14 karat, and I was, okay, I found gold. But I need to get it tested.
Hello, Headshot. Neither one of us has actually found any gold. But we've taken both detectors. She's got the Vanquish 540, and I got the Knox. And if you take an item, a gold ring, whatever, and run under mine, run under hers, those numbers are basically identical on both machines.
Mm-hmm.
It might vary one. I might get a 3-4, and she might get a 2-3. But they vary very little. They're so close. Keep Digging says, got the fever. Yeah, I think a lot of us have got the fever. So we're still learning. We got a lot to learn. But I've noticed if we put our detectors on, like on the table or something, and run a piece of gold under it or a piece of silver, most of the time that number don't vary but 1 or 2.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, most definitely. And then depending on, what's mixed in with that metal. I know during competition, especially a short time frame hunt, I ignore the VDIs. Actually, I like to run the XP. So I'll take my controller off and stick it in my pouch, and I just go strictly with tones. I prefer using a 3-tone during competition.
Well, that's a lot of something else that I don't understand all that. I've been trying to watch videos on how to set my detector up, and for the lower tones underneath a nickel, I've got the volume down some. I got the volume all the way up, or not all the way up, but higher on the nickel. Then between the nickel and the penny, I got it low, and then the other one I can get all the way up.
Yeah, they're usually when you're doing like parks and you're coin hunting or coin shooting, that sounds about right. The nickel range you want to bump up, and then that range between copper and brass, you kind of lower it down. That's why I like using different type of machines in different locations. At the fields, I like cranking up iron, and I just, when I get a solid grunt, a solid iron tone, I want to dig it up. But if I'm at a park, that iron tone is going to be way lowered.
I like the tiny. You can't just say tiny. Yeah.
I was trying to catch up on some of the chat, but
That looks like cute little flowers.
I was told her, I said, we got to start digging those lower tones, lower numbers. So if I get like a 1-2 that's solid, I'll dig it, but I'm still getting foil or I'm getting a piece of a can. And I'm trying to skip some of those that'll be say a 21, 22, jumped up to 27. It just jumps back and forth. Every
Yeah.
once in a while, I'll still dig one, but from what little we've experimented with just silver and gold here with our machines, it's almost a constant number, or it varies one, maybe two.
Very
It
little.
won't bounce 5 or 6 different numbers.
There's only been a few times with my Knox that when it jumped around dramatically like that by 4 or 5 points, I usually skip them. But sometimes if it's like it's a solid tone, but it's jumping around quite a bit, you might be jewelry with mixed metals. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and there has been times that I will dig it. That 603 said the V nickel is running 12. Usually if I get 11, 12, 13, most of the time it's a pull tab, but I'll go ahead and dig it. Only one time I can remember I've got it to go up to a 14. I'll fight you, man. I've got it to go up to a 14. That it was a nickel, but any other time I've dug it when it went up to a 14, it was a pull tab or piece of can.
Yeah, same way with me. On my Knox, I think it's a 12 for me.
Come here and show that shirt off, bro. Come over here and show your shirt off. Hey, come look and see what kind of shirt Brian's wearing. Huh? Come here, man. Come here, man. Come here. Show that shirt off. You gotta, yeah, come here so we can show it off, dude. Okay, come on. Come on. Come on, let's show this shirt off.
Hey!
Look at Brian's shirt. Pretty cool? Huh? Is that pretty cool? He likes to dig too.
Yeah, I've seen the videos.
That little machine he's got, pretty doggone good little machine. But we still got a lot to learn, and that would be my thing about going to one of those bigger hunts where you pay so much money.
Mm-hmm.
I guess we're just not knowledgeable enough to.
I'm gonna go smoke.
What a shock! To invest that kind of money. I mean, it'd be really cool finding that stuff, but I'd be like, I'm probably missing a whole lot of stuff I should be getting.
Well, when it comes to competition, it depends on what kind of hunt you're doing. Most of the targets are going to be high tones. So it honestly, competitions are super easy. Targets are going to be probably under the grass line or no more than an inch. So you're just going, and most of the time they don't even allow diggers. Sometimes most of them are like on the hop. So you just go down there, use your finger to get it out. It's all mostly about speed, but everything's gonna be high toned most of the time. Most seeded hunts. Sometimes they'll do artifact hunts, which a lot of the times they'll be on top. But I've seen some hunts that buried them 6 to 8 inches. So competition's actually honestly pretty easy. It's all about speed and being ready for the next day or week, being in a lot of pain.
Yeah. Gramps said he would like some stickers. I don't know who you're talking to, Gramps. I've got behind on the chat. Oh, the shirt, extra large. Yeah, I've got to get some more made. I know a lot of people will go through companies and sell those shirts through the company so they don't deal with them.
Mm-hmm.
I've got a local company that makes them here for me, but you got to order a dozen at a time. And I'd ask them if people could order them through them, and they said, sure, they can, but until we get a dozen, we're not going to print it. So there's going to have to be a dozen people want one before they'll print out the shirts. Like, well, I'm not going to do it that way.
Yeah, I've been out for a while. My shirts, I have to order them like 30 or 40 at a time to get a decent price on them. If I order them like individually or just a few at a time, oh, it's outrageous.
Yeah, this place isn't too bad. I've called other areas around here asking about it, and they're like, oh, okay, but it's going to depend on the design. And I'd show them the design. Oh, that's going to add money for that. That's going to add money for this. Well, that shirt you're wearing, I had the antlers already, and I told her, I said, I want its eyes red and I want smoke coming out of its nose. And she sent me a picture like a day or two later, and this is what I got. And I said, that looks great to me, and that's what I went with.
It looks great. I love these shirts.
Thank you. Appreciate it. I'd sent Jake from Dirty Magyackers one. He'd been after me for a year. And sent one to Joe and Jack from Michigan Gyms. She sent Risha a shirt, so we sent them to a shirt. But at a certain point, it kind of gets expensive, you know, so.
It does.
I think if I have some left when we go to the event in May, I may take some up there and give them as prizes. But I know Bear Magnetics wants one, but I can't remember now if he said he needed a 4 or 5X. He's a big boy. He needs a big shirt. So I will have to get with that place to see if they even make them that size. The price I get them for, I believe, can be anything from like what the little guy had on up to 2X. And after that, I think the price probably.
Yeah, it usually jumps up after 2X.
Yeah. I was reading, Connie said, telling Joker she hadn't got the stickers yet. I need to go get real fast, or I'll wait till Risha gets back in here to show everybody what we got from you Saturday.
Okay. Did you guys get any extra goodies out of those little packets?
Yeah, I got what did I get? A knife and a couple arrowheads and something else, and I forget what she got. She got some arrowheads, and I don't know, she was kind of secretive with hers, so I'm not sure. You know, I've got to share what I've found, what I got, but she's kind of secretive with hers.
Yeah, I was going to give the rest away to the couple that was sitting next to you, but I forgot she's a school teacher. I was going to have her give them to her students, but
yeah,
I don't think that was a good idea. A bunch of arrowheads and little bone knives.
Yeah, he said 5X, LOL, org size. So I'll have to check into that. Willie said the package was good thing. Thank you, Tri-Vally.
You're very welcome, buddy.
But we did have a lot of fun. What's that, about 2.5 hour drive, and we'd really aimed to get there earlier in the day. And we got up early, but by the time we got around and messed with this, messed with that, we were kind of running behind a little bit. I think we did get there around 11:30. And not knowing everybody or anybody, basically. But by the time the hunt was over, you want to grab some of that stuff so I could show that he gave us?
And honestly, James, that's what it's all about. When you go to these events, when you get there, you don't really know anybody, and it's kind of hard to. But once you start talking and engaging folks, and they do the same thing you do. They love the hobby. They love the sport. Basically, when you're leaving, you have 10, 20 new best friends.
Yeah, that was the thing when when we went to Wisconsin, hey, New Teasy. Still need to hit the bridge if you ever have time. Yeah, we will someday, Willie. I got, no, Risha got this.
Oh, the bone whistle. Yep.
Yeah, that's really cool. And she got, there's more than these, but I'm just going to show these. If I can get in front of the camera, these arrowheads. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Here's the knife I got.
Now, all the whistle and the knife, that is all buffalo bone.
Wow.
Cool.
I wasn't sure what it was, but I knew it was pretty cool.
Oh, we got the arrowhead.
I showed some
Oh,
arrowheads.
okay. And you still have to show what you got from.
Oh yeah, I forgot. I got to show this too. I got this from Johnny's Corner. Got these stickers.
Oh my god.
And
You want to do flash
he
cards
sent us
as well?
2 of these poker chips. I'll try to turn them opposite so you can see both sides. Those are really cool. Appreciate that, Johnny.
What color?
And those are also magnetic, right?
I'm not sure about those. I know a lot of people's are, but I'm not sure about those. We also got this cool mug, Tri-Valley. Let's see. She said those aren't. We got this Tri-Valley Metal Detecting mug.
Those aren't magnetic.
She said those aren't.
Hey, flashcards. Hey. Get my hand.
Well, that's okay.
We're doing flashcards.
And Brian gave us
Ready?
2 of these when we arrived. Thank you so much for those.
Yeah, those are awesome.
Copper rounds.
Ready?
And
Bathtub.
had a drawing, and this is one of the prizes we got out of the drawing.
Pillow.
I like silver. You said you got a lot of silver and you kind of handed out. I have a trouble.
Bed.
Once I have silver in my hand, I have a trouble releasing it.
I hear you. Totally understandable.
Hold on. Spoon.
We also won that.
Spoon. Did you already show the mug? I don't know.
Yes.
Spoon.
Yes, I did. So we appreciate that, Brian.
Yeah.
If anybody in here, if you detect or
Comb.
magnet fish,
Brush.
even if you don't, I'm just going to, I don't know about you, but in May, if you don't metal detect, if you don't magnet fish, and you just want to come out, hang out, come hang out and visit. We will have extra magnets. You can throw a magnet, see if you like it or not.
Hammer. Nail. Tree.
Speaking of magnets, I need to order a new one. I mean, I have mine, but they're the cheap Amazon brand, and they do the job, but I kind of want something more. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Tree.
I would suggest a 360. I've mentioned it on here before.
Tree.
I have a bridge here close to home, and there's a park close to home that has a couple of docks you can fish off of.
Mm-hmm.
I got the dock buster magnet, the big dock buster magnet, and I spent probably 4 hours on these 2 docks one time. And I'd used my double-sided at this bridge the same day and didn't find hardly anything. And I mean, I magnet fished hard. As soon as I got my 360, I thought, okay, I'm going to try this thing out. Went to the bridge.
Funny how you could say it.
I think there was one throw I didn't find something. And it might have just been a nail, but I found something.
Mhm.
To where the other magnet I'd throw 20 times before I'd pick up anything. I thought, well, this is insane. So I'm going to give it a real good test. And I went to that dock and I pulled out, I think, 2 fishing poles, an arrow, all kinds of
Whoa.
lures, hooks, knives. And I thought, I was just here like 2 days ago. And you could tell this stuff had been in the water for a while. It wasn't, the other magnet just didn't pick it up. But that
Huh.
360 will just draw stuff into it. Or if it's a bigger object, it'll pull itself to it because
Yeah.
it's magnetic all the way around. And with a double side or a single side, if you go by it, it's not going to pick it up. You know, when I used the double and single, I preferred the double over the single. And I would throw it out and I'd pull a little ways and then leave slack so the magnet was constantly dropping on the bottom to try to pick anything up.
Okay.
But if it was out on the sides of it, a ½ inch, you went by it, you're going by it. The 360, it'll either pull it over or it'll pull the magnet to it.
Okay.
It's really honey.
Now the little 1400, when you ever see one, you're going to laugh because it's tiny. It's like 1.3 pounds. I mean, this thing is tiny, but it pulls up some heavy stuff. But I would say, depending on what you want to do, the Helios would be good for an adult or a child or anybody, actually. I'm thinking kayak, it's going to be great. But the Artemis, what is the Artemis? 2,600 pound 360. And then the Titan's 3,800 pound 360, which I've got all 3 of those magnets. When I go anymore, part of the time I'll throw the Titan, part of the time the Artemis, just depends. Or if I get on something and I can feel it move a little bit, but the Artemis won't hold it, I'll throw the Titan out and try to get it. But there's just stuff you're not going to pull out. I hooked onto something with that little 1,400 pound, and it was moving. And finally the magnet popped off, and Risha said, "Do you want to use my bigger magnet?" I said, "No," because it was heavy enough. I was picking it up off the bottom, about half of it. I said, "It's for myself being here with you. It's way too heavy for me to try to get out of there."
Yeah.
You know, I'd probably take 3 pretty husky people, because this was one heavy piece of metal. But there was also some big pieces of I-beam you could see laying on the bank. So I'm thinking I might have hooked a big piece of that.
Okay.
But it was moving it. Kathy said the clamp. I can't speak about the clamp because I've never used one. I know a lot of people love them. I decided to go with the 360 over the clamp just for my personal choice. I'm buying 2 of these for the rope. That way you'll never sink the rope if you lose it. Yeah, Willie has a whole arsenal of magnets.
Yeah, I think he pulled my twin brother aside just to show him everything, what he had. Nice collection.
Elijah said he rocks the 2 clamps now. #1 choice when I'm in a boat. Honey Badger's favorite. Like I said, I've never used a clamp. I know a lot of people do. A lot of people love them. So I can't tell you how they work because I've never used one. All I can tell you, I see a lot of people pull a lot of stuff in with one. I would like to try one, but personally, if I was going to buy another magnet, it'd probably be another 360. Mary said it'll even work for John. Willie said they call him the magnetic nut. Yeah, Willie's got a bunch of magnets.
Yeah, Willie earlier was saying something about our capital. Both Tin Man and I were the same day. There's actually a club down in our capital that does a hunt that I actually plan on going to this spring. I think it's in April. So, Willie, if you're interested in that, that'd be pretty cool. And I'm sure there's lots of places to magnet fish over there.
Yeah, Jeff said he has a Rogue magnetic beast box that he won. So I feel it every time I pull it out of the case to show someone. It's a weird feeling. Yeah, if you got some metal on you, you might want to be careful with the magnets. Is Ficus and Toast in here? If they are, hello, Ficus and Toast. Sorry I missed you. He says he's got it in his chest. My dad's got a piece of steel in his leg from years ago. I guess he was beating on a bearing and it exploded and it went in his leg and he went to the hospital and he said they stuck those forceps or whatever in there like 3 or 4 inches and they couldn't get a hold of it. So they just left it.
Oh, wow.
And he had a little 1,200-pound double-sided before he got a 360. And he took it to this shop. Hello, the Bad Idea Lab. Show him how strong this little magnet was. And he forgot and he held it by his leg. And I guess it smacked him on the leg and he got it pulled away. And he said he could actually feel that steel in his leg trying to come back out. So, yeah, it's something you got to be cautious of if you have metal.
Yeah.
Been drinking around a TikTok live with his friend for over an hour. So what's your all-time favorite find that you've found, if you have a favorite?
Probably my favorite natural find would probably be a 1911 coffee sign. Found in my backyard. Refurbished. That thing is selling for $1,000 online.
Wow.
And the condition it's at right now, I could sell it for $300, which I don't sell any of my finds. I usually just end up giving away, but if it's something that valuable, I usually hang it up on the wall or keep it in my storage bin.
That's cool. So what is your ultimate bucket lister?
Colonial. Anything colonial, really. Living in Kansas, we don't see hardly any kind of pre-Civil War artifacts or pre-Civil War coins. I think my oldest coin that I actually found was an 1880 or 1881 Indian head penny. My oldest coin that I've gotten as a gift from a coin collector was a 56 half cent. But anything colonial would be, I'd be tickled to find one of those. Even if it's a horseshoe from the 1700s or whatever, I just love to find one of those. Anything colonial.
Yeah, I think I'd like to find a real. I'll probably never find one, but I think a real would be a pretty cool find. Hey, Magnet Mission. We're all doing great. How about yourself?
I had a buddy that found a French. I think it was either like a half cent or something similar to our half cent, but it was a French one, silver, like an 1845-ish or 1840s, maybe early 1850s. But he found that probably about an hour from you guys. Not too far where I was hunting at. And of course we had the kids when we were hunting, so we were doing a grid system. Well, he hit it the next day, and he said, "Dude, right where you guys were at, I found French." My French what? So it was pretty exciting. So we know that there's stuff out there in our region that's pre-Civil War. It's just trade routes. You know what I mean? Especially in your area, there's a lot more trade routes than in Southeast Kansas.
Yeah. 603 said their town settled in 1623. That's crazy.
Yeah, I get a little jealous from 603. He's always posting his finds, and I'm seeing that stuff. I mean, to me, that's bucket listers every single time for me, and it's tickled to see that he's constantly finding those goodies. Love seeing it.
Yeah,
603, he's a really great guy.
that's something I was telling you earlier. For me, if I find a silver dime, that tickles me to death because, hello, Mr. Kratos. That's just not something so far that we find a lot of.
Yeah.
I'm sure we're going to luck into a spot somewhere where we find something better, but between my dad, my wife, and myself, we've found a few silvers, nothing bigger than a dime. None of us has found a quarter, a half dollar, or a silver dollar. The only natural find as far as anything above a quarter, I found a Sacagawea dollar. None of us has found a 50-cent piece or a dollar, silver dollar. Even the non-silver dollars, I grew up calling them silver dollars.
Mm-hmm.
That 1880 Indian head is my oldest. And in the same field, because it was ringing up like a 24, 25, and it was like a week later, I went back to that same place. And I'm getting 1920 for some reason. Of course, the ground was either wetter or drier or something. And I walked past it, and I stopped, and I thought, I better dig that. So I turned around. When I dug it, it was 1883 Indian head. And I thought,
Oh, wow.
I almost walked past that. Ben, how are you doing tonight, brother? There's Mr. Kratos himself. Ben is an awesome guy. I hope so. I never did think I was going to find a silver. Risha had 4 in her belt before I ever found my first one. It's like every time I turn around, she's like, got silver. I'm like, that ain't right.
I haven't found any since though.
No, she's kind of hit a dry spell.
But I did find that weird little coin. There it is.
Willie's got a question. Do you wash? What I carry is a little squirt bottle of water and a toothbrush. And I'll squirt the water on there and then take that little toothbrush. Sometimes just the squirt bottle will clean it off where you can see. Sometimes you have to scrub it a little bit.
I usually look at the hole, either if it was a full tab or one of those twist ones.
Well,
but all the cans that we found at the hunt is still in the back of the truck. I haven't done anything with it.
Yeah, Ben's on an archaeology dig right now. He's posted a couple pictures and find some cool stuff. All right, Magnet Mission said that he finally broke 1,000 subs. So 3,200 watch hours. That's awesome, brother. So I will ask you guys if you will go to his channel. When you go to bed tonight, just leave it on the computer. Let his videos play all night long. and get his hours up. That's what everybody did for me, and I truly appreciated that. And also, if you haven't subbed to Brian's channel, make sure you sub to his channel. I use a dental brush, much shorter length plus stronger bristles. Right now, though, I think the brush I have is pretty soft bristles. Hi, Sherry Lynn. Can you put your channel in there, Brian?
I can't type on my. I'm on my filming on my phone, so I can't do any typing.
Oh, okay. Maybe I can get Risha to go find it and post it. Can you go get his link and post it?
Yeah.
For him?
Have you lost your mind?
And also, Gramps is grumpy once again. If you guys will go check out Gramps, he is awesome. I did screenshot something that I wanted to share tonight. This is what Gramps is grumpy hands out whenever he has new people. See all those channels he's advertising besides himself?
Oh, wow.
And I truly appreciate that, Gramps. So if you haven't subbed to Gramps, please go do so. He's an awesome guy. Everybody in here is awesome. But Brian, I can probably, Risha and I both can probably learn a lot from you.
Yeah.
I know there's a lot of things with both detectors we have that we could do better with settings and understanding different parts of it. So what would you suggest? Maybe try to do more YouTube research on different people, different settings, things like that.
Yeah, that helps out a lot. See what other people what they prefer, but you got to remember, wherever you're at, the soil content is going to be different. And even if you go to a park, and especially in the Midwest, the soil is rich, so you can be on someone's property, and when you do your ground balance, and it might be like, let's say it's at a 70. At the end of the yard, it might be down to a 40. To me, with the Knox, I like that tracking system that they have going on. That really helps out. Instead of when you start getting a lot of chatter, you have to re-ground balance every time, like with the Garrett. But the Knox has that option you can track, and I really like that. Yeah, the best thing to do is look at what other people's doing, what they have set up, and then just kind of get some ideals off of that, and then go to different locations. Go to, let's just say you go to a farmer's field. That soil is going to be rich. So test out your settings on there, and then go to a park. Create multiple different programs for each. But say, okay, I'm going to go to this field. I'm going to have 3 different programs for that field, depending on what I want to hunt for. Or if you just want to hunt everything, I just go all metal mode. But yeah, I just play around with it. Get ideals from other folks, and then just tune it into what you like, and then the soil content. And then if it's the ground is dry or there's a lot of moisture in the ground, that does have a factor. For some reason, let's say you're going south north, and then you're doing a grid and you're going east west. Sometimes you might miss certain things. If you do that, change it up. Instead of starting north to south, you go east to west and then north to south. That also helps out a lot.
That's something else. I need to I've watched a video on ground balancing the machine, and I watched one person. I never ground balance my machine. The next person, I always ground balance my machine. So that's something else I don't quite understand. I know there's a button you push and you pump it a few times and it ground balances, or there's a button you push and it automatically ground balances. I don't understand all that yet. I need to investigate that more. But do you think that's an important thing, is ground balancing the machine?
To me, it is. I always ground balance before I hunt a field or any kind of location. Always ground balance. Now with the Equinox, I'll ground balance. I'll do my noise cancellation, and then I'll set it to auto so it can track for me. So instead of going 10 feet and then it starts doing a lot of chattering, and it's not like the EMI, I'll have to re-ground balance. That auto usually just does the trick for me.
Does somebody get that bot, please? Thank you, Willie. I seen him on there, but I didn't see him on my phone till after. Yeah, I always report those for pornography because they don't need to be in here. Hi, Judy.
You're supposed to say prawn, not that.
What?
You're supposed to say prawn.
Prawn.
You're not supposed to say that word on there. Yeah.
So Joker is 400 away. It's 8 away from 400 subs. If you haven't already, go over and hit that sub button.
Pretty sure I'm already subbed.
Huh?
I'm pretty sure I'm already subbed to him. I'm way behind on watching folks' videos. I've just been so busy.
I'm behind too. I stay behind. I used to be on top of it all the time, but with so much stuff going on.
Mm-hmm.
And I've mentioned it before. Risha watches Little Man all week, and as soon as I walk through the door, it's play. So, what are you going to do? You're going to play. That's what you're going to do. So,
now, speaking of your grandson, did I see he won Best Halloween Costume?
yes.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Pennywise.
Yeah. Risha actually made his outfit, and she did his face, and he got best costume. He got a trophy that's almost as big as him.
Oh wow!
And then she got best. She got best costume for whatever she said, sash. I don't know what that means.
Yeah, it's a little sash.
Oh, she got a sash thing that says best costume for fixing herself up. She's pretty good at that stuff. And I guess to me it's kind of odd with him, because I know most kids, when you go to try to paint their face, they're fidgety and all that, then they're wiping and rubbing. Yeah, he sits there and don't move a muscle, and he don't want to wipe none of it because he thinks it's really cool when that happens. So he's kind of unusual for most kids I've been around anyway for that.
Oh yeah.
He didn't talk when we first left.
Huh?
He didn't want to mess up his
Oh,
face.
she said he wouldn't talk after she first done it because he didn't want to mess it up. And then he likes that Michael Myers and that horror stuff, which is kind of odd too. Of course, his Chi-Chi loves it too. But there was some guy, I guess, dressed up as Michael Myers
Jason,
and started walking towards him, and he just stood there looking at him.
And then they had like a standoff.
Yeah, and he's like, "You're not scared of me?" No. Here's this little kid, not even 4 years old, and this grown up trying to scare him. He just looks at him like, "No, I'm not afraid of you." So I guess they had a blast.
Yeah, I scared quite a few kids on Halloween. Didn't mean to. I just.
I like scaring grown-ups, just not kids.
She likes scaring John.
I like scaring John.
That scared me. I'll slap the shit out of you today.
If you haven't, I've got it up there, the link. Subscribe to Tri-Vally.
Yeah, I'll share it again. So that can-
If she's gonna share it again. Risha, I'm gonna be giving Gina those 2 necklaces
Oh, cool.
and one of your stickers tomorrow. That's awesome.
Good deal.
Risha just posted it again, so you could, if you missed it before, you can click on it. And like I said, Brian, with that event in March, if it's not full, and if you got, of course, we're not club members, so we don't.
Yeah, you don't have to be club members. It's open to the public.
But that's
anyone can
something
join.
that I think we would enjoy try doing. It's an all natural hunt.
That's cool.
So
When is it?
March.
It's in March. It's a 20-acre pipeline, Chinese pipeline camp that housed over 1,000 men.
Wow. That's
So it'll
cool.
be turn of the century.
Yeah.
So 1,000 people on 20 acres. That's
Yeah.
pretty well full.
Yeah. That's cool.
That would be. There's no telling what's there.
That's right. Bad idea, lab.
Well, I know I've heard stories, railroad camps, especially with Japanese and Chinese workers, when they got paid, they'd stick it in, something and bury their money. Sometimes they forget where they buried them. So
Oh.
you would think it'd probably be the same concept. I mean, railroad through that time is probably 1880s ish. Pipeline, early 1900s through the 1920s. So you'd think it'd probably be the same concept. They'd get paid. They didn't want to leave it in their tent or whatever, so they buried it close by or hid it.
Good night, Kathy. Thank you for coming in.
That's cool, Jeff.
Yeah, that's, it would be awesome if somebody would find like a bag of money or
Mhm.
Yeah.
whatever they put it in, who knows, they might have put it in a sock or whatever, especially if it was me. But it would, I mean, it would just be cool if somebody found something like that just to see.
Hmm.
No.
Are you gonna have to-
Yeah.
Okay.
But it's, for those that haven't metal detected, it's just like magnet fishing. It's very addictive.
It is.
Willie said a pipeline. Where's that at? He's not going to say, Willie.
Yeah, I'm not saying.
That'll be a secret up until the time they have the event. All right, 603. Appreciate it. Willie said he wonders where the original railroad line ran through, let me guess, Topeka. So the place I've got permission for, I was telling you about where I'd found the older coins. The railroad tracks used to go like this, and it had the old train station where people got on and off there, and then they would go across and go to the old hotel.
Mhm.
Well, now it's just a double track that's side by side. So I don't know exactly where that circle part was as far as on land. If it's where I'm thinking, it's under a bunch of gravel and stuff like that, which you'd never be able to dig through. But I was saying earlier, Risha tells me I'm crazy. We was in a restaurant eating, and I said, the waitress asked what we wanted and told her what I want to drink. And I said, I want to know if we can metal detect around the restaurant. Well, I'll ask the owner. She comes back a little bit. Yeah, have fun. Just if you find it, $1 million, you got to share it. Okay. And then I went
That's
into
awesome.
the city hall while we were there and asked about some of the parks. Oh, yeah, have a blast. So she's like, You'll ask anybody, won't you? I said, heck yeah. You don't know if you don't ask, you know. You got to ask
True.
to get permission. Oh, Joker said he's driving this time to come to the event. He was going to come to the event that Clay and Jen had in May, and I guess the airlines kind of messed him over, and he didn't get to make it. So he said he's driving this time. But we're hoping to have 200 plus people there is what we're hoping.
Oh, wow.
And it may not happen, but that's my goal, is to have 200 plus. I think when they had the event in May this year, there was 28 YouTube channels there, and that's not counting all the other people that were there that didn't have YouTube channels. And it was like Risha and I, that's one channel, but 2 people. So I think, I've forgotten now, but I think they had close to 150 people there.
Oh, wow.
So we're hoping to have over 200 this time, and it's going to be a 2-day event, you know, to raise money for St. Jude. Well, Jen's going to try to figure out who we can get to haul the scrap to the scrap yard and sell that. I'll be making some knives and different things, and Risha's going to make some jewelry and stuff, and Kathy Ponscombe, she's going to make some jewelry. Jen's going to be making some stuff, so there'll be a possibility to get a ticket to win something. You can't say all that stuff on here or you get kicked off. So there will be that opportunity. And what I decided to do this next year is for people that can't go there, they can acquire through me some tickets for my part of it, and I'll write their name on the tickets, and then if they win, we'll mail it to them. Joker said he's going to have coffee from Goth Rider with me to offer people. Bear Magnetic says is only 9 away from 100. Tri-Valley, do you know any of the other lakes that hold a lot of scrap metal other than Marion?
Santa Fe Lake in Chanute, Kansas. That's a highly iron-infested little lake. A big one.
I would say a lot of the lakes have a lot of scrap in them in certain places. If you had a boat, you could have access to it.
A lot of these lakes around here usually were formed over farmland. So if you can find an old map where a lake is located, you can usually find where the buildings used to sit.
Willie said he'll add that to the list. I know my dad, he's got a boat, and he does like a trolling motor. I always ran the trolling motor. He's, well, I don't want to spend the money for batteries, so he took the trolling motor off of it. And we were down at the lake earlier this year, and we took our magnets, and he said, well, let's magnet fish under this bridge. I said, it ain't going to do us no good. And he said, why not? I said, well, that wind is just howling. I said, there's no way to keep yourself up there. By the time you throw the magnet in, you're 100 yards down the lake.
Mm-hmm.
Hello, Zaxton. So I would like at some point to get a boat with trolling motor, and where you can kind of daub around some of them bridges and stuff, because you know people's thrown stuff off there for years.
Mm-hmm.
There's no telling what you could find under there. But the bridge that I've found so much stuff of that's close to me, I was told that whenever they made that into a lake, there was old cars, old farm machinery, and all that stuff it's underwater now out there. Some guy said he was there when it was there was a drought, and he said there was barely any water in it, and he said you could see the old farm machinery and stuff out there. But that's something you're not going to pull out with a magnet.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
But I don't think it was right close to the bridge, but it's a pretty big lake. And this lake, you can't get in the water. You can't put a kayak in it. None of that stuff. So there's a lot of things a person could find if you could get a boat out there, even if they just allow a kayak. Judy Menzel said, I believe the Great Salt Plains Lake has never been magnet fished. .603 said to subscribe to Bear Magnetics. But any of these channels in here, if you haven't checked them out, go check them out. That's one of the reasons we do this. If I keep having trouble with this computer, I'm going to have to either get a new computer or quit doing lives. I know 2 weeks ago it was messed up and I had to restart a whole new live and get on my phone and the other one and tell everybody to go to the new one. And then, well, you seen tonight, I could see you on there. And when I went to bring myself up, it wouldn't let me. So I had to completely shut the computer off and restart it. And I thought, you know, I was starting plenty early. And by the time I got through with the computer stuff, it was, what, about 8 till 6 before I got it going. Gramps is hoping to hit 500 by the end of the year. I hope you do, Gramps. If I had my way, I'd give everybody 1,000 subs and 4,000 watch hours so they could be monetized. But we probably won't stay on here much longer. Brian, it's been a long day. Hi, Christy.
I hear you.
Okay, I'll fix it.
Willie says a perfect setup for magnet fishing is a pontoon boat. Yeah, if you had a winch on it, that would be handy. Keep Digging said thank you to all the new subs.
We want to go ahead and set up our hashtag.
Yeah, let me.
Okay, let's go right here.
No. How about I get home?
Yeah, but I gotta go right here real quick. Oh, you're
See if I can get this thing working.
Okay, let's go brush your hair. Okay, let's go brush your hair. We're done.
You're doing a lot of talking, little guy.
He tried with the craziest things. Come on.
I think I remember what you told me, but
Okay.
yeah.
Yeah, 603. KG, he just lives down the road from me, basically. About 30 minutes.
Where did you find that weird bowl? You're not taking that bowl home.
I don't know
Well,
that
actually, we'll ask Gigi because that is pretty cool.
I have
I like that.
anybody real close here. So Brian is giving away something, and I do not know what. He will let us know when he's ready. Put in hashtag fall. We have 24 people in here.
Looks very cute.
We have 10 entries so far, 12 entries so far. But if any of you get a chance to go to any of the events, even like the one that Brian put on, and even if you don't detect, I think you would enjoy yourself just going and watching and visiting with people. I mean, if you have an interest in artifacts and older coins, things like that, even newer coins. But I had a lot
It's
of
pretty
fun.
cool at this at the hunt. You know, everyone's kept asking, "Hey, do you know the history on this location?" And unfortunately, I didn't. But by the end of the hunt, where people were finding certain targets, I was starting to get an idea. Okay, this used to be this, or you know what I mean, or something like a field with a barn, or that tree line that you guys that we had back there. A lot of
Yeah,
folks were finding a bunch of farming equipment. Um, and then of course that's where the old silver was at. And then my gold was right down there. And then on the L shape where I didn't plant anything, I was noticing sandstone, which they used to build on top of sandstone. So some form of foundation used to sit there. So after the hunt, we had the general idea. Okay, this used to be, you know, a farm, or this used to be a spot where they hung out, had picnics, etc. They'd get off the train and come down to this area and have picnics. But before the hunt, I had no idea.
but yeah, when you get a word from that farmer about that field you were talking about, yeah, give us a holler. We'll meet you over there.
Yeah, we'll do. I think permission wise is okay. I just waiting for some more information what the actual club is supposed to be giving me before I start advertising. Because
Okay.
I want all the details to be perfect.
I don't blame you. This event that's coming up in May, I've never set up anything like that for. So I've got from now to May to figure out how to do all this stuff, and I know I'm going to make some mistakes, but I'm hoping to get everything figured out. Which Clay and Jen have done it before, so they're going to help me with mine because they're going to be doing theirs. We got 20 entries and 21 people in here. No, nothing's never perfect, Mary. That's true.
That's true.
But we want to go. My dad probably would want to go. I think he was a little upset with me because it didn't take him out there Saturday. But that's kind of on him because when we were up north, we had these friends that actually lived in Cassville. Is how we met him. Then he ended up getting married. They moved up there by where we go hunting. And we found out his wife had passed away. They'd went out to Las Vegas, and on the way back, she got sick and passed away. And they were having her visitation or whatever Saturday. And we had already made plans to come out there with you. And he said, well, I'm going to go up there to the visitation. I said, okay. Well, he called me Saturday night. Well, he called me when we were at the event, and I'm talking to him on the phone. He wouldn't know where we was at, and I told him. And I said, last I knew, you were going to that. It wasn't really a visitation. I guess she had been cremated, so it was whatever it's called for that. No, I just stayed home and watched football. Okay, how am I supposed to know that? So he acted like he was a little upset that we didn't bring him, but last I knew, he was going somewhere else.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm sure he would like to go to that too. All right, we got 22 people in here, 21 entries. Whenever you're ready, Brian, we don't even know what the prize is.
I'll show the winner. So
All right.
spin away.
Brian's, the prize is you got to meet Brian. All right, good luck, everybody. You should have been paying attention, lady. Mary, congratulations, Mary.
Mary, very nice. All right, Mary. Got a few stickers. Plus the copper round.
Oh, that's awesome. Those copper rounds are sweet.
They're pretty.
There we go. So yeah, just email me. My info's all in my description on the channel. You can find my email there.
I'm waiting to see if she responds. I know she's here. Oh, there she is. All right, did you get that, Mary? Just go to his channel and all his information is in there. I do appreciate you doing that tonight. I wasn't prepared for, Risha wasn't prepared for any giveaways, I don't think. So you weren't prepared for any giveaways. I've got to get back out in the shop and get some stuff made. All right, Joker, thanks for being here.
It's just been a crazy day.
Yeah, it's been a crazy couple of weeks. This time change kills me. I don't know what time you get up, but I'm at work at 5:30 in the mornings, and so when they change this time, I just, for a month, it'll just have me drained because of the time change. You wouldn't think it'd be that big a deal, but it messes me up.
Yeah, we work 7 to 3:30. So after work, if I plan on doing any metal detecting, I better hurry up.
Yeah. I work 5:30 to 2. And then by the time I get home, it's usually 20 after 2, 15 to 20 after 2. And then usually it's playtime till 5 o'clock or after 5 because his mom gets off at 5, so she don't get here till about 15 after. So by that time it's dark. But tomorrow evening and Friday evening, I'm going to climb in a tree stand before gun season. And I got 2 nice bucks around here. And she said we got enough room in the freezer for a couple deer. If I get an opportunity, I'm going to take it. If not, maybe in gun season. And it's going to be in the 70s tomorrow. Yeah. Drop down into the 40s, and then for like the next 7 or 8 days, the high is in the 40s and lows in the 30s and 20s. So it's quite a
big
change in
jump.
weather.
I think we're expecting that cold front by noon tomorrow.
I don't know when we're going to get it. I did clean out the chimney last night. Yeah, I cleaned the chimney out last night. So all I got to do is clean the stove out and build a fire, which I can do that daylight or dark. But getting the chimney cleaned out was the main thing. So now the grandson thinks we need to get on the roof. He's got these little monster trucks, and he thinks we need to get on the roof and run these monster trucks down the roof onto the ground.
Oh.
He comes up with some ideas, I tell you. Yeah, it's cold, not going to be fun detailing cars. Probably not, Willie, especially if you're wet. .603 says they're up at 2:30, work till 2, dig till dark. I don't know if I could get up that early anymore. 4:30 is early enough. I have sleep apnea, so I don't rest good anyway. And when I was younger, I didn't usually sleep a whole lot, but as I got older, I require more. 20s there in New Hampshire. Well, that'll get rid of some of the bugs anyway. All right, Gramps, thanks you for coming in. Appreciate it. I think we're going to call it a night. Brian, I appreciate you coming up, and thank you for having us over the weekend. We had a blast. Can't wait to do it again.
it was nice just finally meeting everyone. We see each other on lives all the time, or and other folks' videos, or even on social media. But it was really nice just to finally just meet everyone. Willie, James from Okie Digging Adventures, and then you guys. It was really, it was a treat.
Yeah, it was great meeting you guys. Like I said, enjoyed sitting and visiting with Willie while we were eating. I guess it was our supper. It was after the dig, and we had fun talking with Willie. And he's a great kid. Enjoyed spending time with him. I've had him up here on live several times, and it's always fun when you have somebody on the live or even in chat and you get to meet them in person. It's like you've known them forever. So that's why they call it a treasure family. You know,
Exactly.
we're all a big
Yeah.
family, and it's not like you're strangers when you meet.
That's very true.
But thank you, each and every one, for coming in tonight. We appreciate it. Love each and every one of you. I want to call it a night and eat a bite and get ready for bed. We'll see you all again next week. Have a great one.
Bye, guys.